attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi, everyone. This is Barb Bruno. I want to welcome you to our webinar today. And what we're going to talk about is how do you improve the candidate experience. And the reason I started studying this topic is because I never worry about the candidates that we place in jobs. What I worry about is the impression of candidates that come to us and we don't place in jobs. And I do training all over the world. And worldwide, we are only helping 5% of the people that we attract. So 5 out of 100 people think we're terrific, and the other 95 are not happy with us. And that's a problem. And it's interesting because I speak at a lot of corporate events. I speak at a lot of talent acquisition events. And our clients are just as concerned over this because it was interesting. I was on a panel with a woman who was the VP of HR of Pizza Hut. And what she was explaining at one of the conferences was that when people apply to Pizza Hut to work and they don't hear anything, they quit buying pizza. And what happens to us is if candidates don't have a good experience with us, then we don't get referrals or, as you know, happy people never go on social media and blast us. But if somebody came and didn't have a good experience, that's the person that's going to go on social media and tell their friends how, they weren't helped or what a lousy job we did for them. That's why this is becoming so important. And I think individuals that work in our profession, we're all motivated by making a difference. I think that's why I like everybody I meet in our profession, because I've always described us as social workers who like money, but we do want to make a difference in the lives of the people that we represent. We want to improve their lives for the better, but we also want to fill the requisitions that we have with top talent, whether we're working direct or contract or temp. We've got the pressure to fill the openings with top talent. I conduct live webinars for job seekers, and it's interesting because they don't know who I am. My last call I did yesterday, I had 1,800 job seekers on the phone, and frustrations they share have validated that 100% of the people that come to you expect you to either hire them or place them in a job. I didn't realize that until I started doing these calls a couple of years ago, but they complain about staffing and recruiting firms to me all the time because they don't know who I am. And so I try to educate them and inform them about, how to work with the staffing and recruiting profession, and that unless they have skills, stability, and experience, but, ironically, 100% of the people that are attracted to your firm, whether they read about you online, if they see a posting you've put on, or they just have been referred to you, 100% of them expect us to hire them or place them in a job. So currently, we're disappointing 95% of them, which is kind of crazy. According to Forbes and LinkedIn and Career Builder, and what I want to share with you today too is I'm an instructor for LinkedIn Learning. And that's been a great experience for me because I have access to LinkedIn's big data now because I've done 14 courses for LinkedIn. But I watch Forbes, I watch LinkedIn, I watch all the job boards, and the experience a candidate has with your company impacts their future buying decision. So often you wonder why hiring authorities aren't hiring from you or returning your calls. Well, they came to your firm years ago to get a job and they weren't helped. And so now they don't want to use you to help them find people, and when we survey a lot of these hiring authorities, many of them have had a negative experience with staffing and recruiting firms. That's why they refer to us as you people every so often. But most individuals have had some kind of experience, whether it's positive or negative, and their experience does impact their future buying decisions of your products or services. Now, why do you and I only place 5%? Because that sounds terrible, but many candidates lack skills, experience, they don't have certifications, they're the least placeable candidates, and that's who calls us the most, are the people that we're never going to place. They have very unrealistic expectations or major red flags on their resume, or most of us are niched, and it's just outside of the profession or niche that you specialize in. However, the 95% of your candidate flow that you won't hire are the ones that call most frequently. They expect you to hire them or find them a job. They expect you to provide them with free career consulting. They view you as sometimes their only lifeline. And this is a scary thing, that people that are desperate call us, and you never know where a person is in their life. And that's why we have to be very conscious of this, because sometimes they view us as a lifeline. They're desperate. They feel they put their careers in your hand. They called their recruiter and they just expect you to find them a job. Unfortunately, it's many of these candidates that are your greatest time wasters, and they're extremely vocal when you don't provide results. In any type of relationship, people only want to know 3 things. They want to know if they can trust you, they want to know if you care about them, and they want to know if you're going to do what you say you're going to do. But when you don't hire them or place them, their perception is that you failed at all three. Now, on the other side of this discussion, I see things from our point of view because I'm in your business. Your success depends to a great extent on your ability to focus on the 5% of the candidates you're going to hire or place. Because, the fact that we know this, we can't afford to focus on the 95% because we've got so many job orders, contracts, and assignments right now. We have to focus on the 5% that we're going to place. Your company's reputation, however, depends on your ability to nurture and form lifelong relationships with 100% of the people who contact you for a job. So if you provide results and resources to every candidate, their positive experience would result in increased referrals, positive posts, improved word of mouth, lifetime relationships, and you could fill jobs faster. But when you stop and think about this, I want you to look at what I just said. If you provide results, you can get this, or if you provide resources to candidates. So we're not going to place everybody. We've already learned that we only place 5% of the people that are attracted to us. But we have to provide resources for the other ones. The question is, who has time to do this? There's not enough hours in the day to cover the open requisitions you have, let alone help everybody that your company attracts. And again, because I do those weekly job seeker calls, I listen to their complaints every single week. So I'd like to offer you 2 solutions if you want to improve the candidate's experience, if you want to include referrals, if you want to improve word of mouth advertising, and if you want to fill your jobs or your contracts or your temp assignments faster. The 2 solutions would be create a resource that's going to help individuals you won't place, or consider setting up a career portal. And what I did, just so all of you know, is I for years, it bothered me that I was only placing 5% of who my firm attract. And I went into this profession never having worked at it. And so I thought what I was going to do is help unemployed people find work. And after 6 months, I realized, oh no, my clients wanted people that were working with great experience and they want to make a move. And so all those people I wanted to help that were not employed, I couldn't help. And so what I did 5 years ago is I developed a career portal for my own business. And I developed a career portal that I sent people to. And in my career portal, what I gave them was a free resume or a free resume builder. It's automated. They get a career advisor once a week from us. Basically, the career advisor shows them, it analyzes their resume and shows them red flags and how to answer them. It's kind of like our prep. I do live weekly webinars for them, and that's why I talk to job seekers every week, because I do 20 minutes of training and then I answer their questions. And that's where they complain to me all the time about us because they don't know I own a staffing and a recruiting firm. So I explain to them why we can't, place everybody. We send weekly emails giving them career advice, and there's a 15-step process that helps them find a job. So although I'm not going to place them in a job, although I'm not going to place them with one of my clients, now I help everybody that my firm attracts, because they go to this career portal and there's an aggregate job board, and so it helps them find a job on their own. The other thing it does is I realized, and I've surveyed staffing and recruiting firms all over this country, and the average recruiter spends 90 minutes a day taking calls from candidates they're never going to place in a job. And that's extremely costly to the owner, because imagine if you spent that 90 minutes talking to candidates you're going to place in a job. So imagine if you could help everybody. You could help 100% of the candidates your company attracts. The candidates think you created this resource for them. You increased your referrals. You improved word of mouth advertising. And now they're not blasting you on social media. They're talking well about you because you're helping everybody. And it stops those call-ins. And if you ask your recruiters, they will tell you the people that call you the most are people you're never going to place in jobs. And so what happened was I did this for my own company. And a couple of years ago, I had other recruiting firm owners come to me and say, what is that? And I said, well, I just developed a resource for job seekers. I teach them how to find a job. There's a 15-step process. I have a free resume builder. They go, can you private label it? Well, it took me over a year to figure out how to private label it for others. But I've been doing this now for over a year. And so candidates will really think you created this because it has your name, your address, your colors. It looks like your firm did this. And our current clients that have set up a career portal for their business have told me it's improving efficiency and production. And the average recruiter, that 90 minutes that they're spending, they're not doing that anymore. So it's put 90 minutes back in the days of recruiters. So every client that we have that has set up a career portal, their sales have increased because now their recruiters are not, giving all this free advice. They're giving them a resource that they can go to. And so all it takes is giving them a URL and sending them the resource. Additional results are the candidates are happy because they have a resource that helps them find a job. And they come back to my calls every week and talk about the jobs they're getting. And happier recruiters because now they are helping everybody, but they've got better job satisfaction because they're making more money. They're focusing on the 5% they can place, and they're not giving free career consulting, which is so costly. Many of the job seekers who are using the resources in the career portal are people who we normally would have ignored. If you're asked to speak at a job fair, I was just asked yesterday to speak at a job fair. And I said, how about I give you a career portal that can help all your job fair attendees find a job, and it's free. And it'll build a resume for them. They can have weekly calls. They'll get a weekly email giving them career advice. And it's interesting because the companies that have set up career portals, rather than getting nasty, online remarks made about them, they're getting thank you notes and cookie bouquets and flowers and candy. And most importantly, these candidates are referring other people to them. And I've had owners call me and say, Barb, all we did was set it up. You're doing the calls, you're answering their questions, and we're getting the credit for it. But that's what I want this to do. This is it doesn't take 1 minute of your time, but it gives you a resource where you can send all the candidates you're not placing in a job. And we've got to start improving the experience of everybody because those candidates do become hiring authorities. Those candidates do go online. Other benefits to setting up a resource for the candidates you don't place is it differentiates you from your competition. It's going to attract new clients and candidates, and your existing clients are going to use it. All my clients use my career portal, every one of them, because they're not hiring people either, and they love to give a resource to somebody. I want to share a story with you. I have a client in Portland who basically bought a career portal. And he said the interesting thing was he'd been trying to get into a technology conference for a technology company for 3 years. They're a very big company. They're in Portland. And he goes, I couldn't get my foot in the door. So I called and they said, we just had a layoff. We laid 30 people off. And he said, you know what? I've got a resource. Are you doing outplacement for them? And they go, no. And he goes, I've got a resource that's free to them that will build their resume. It'll give them weekly job seeker calls. It's a 15-step process for them to find a job. There's tremendous resources. The Indeed aggregate job boards in there where they can enter their credentials once and they've got access to 1,200 job boards. And the company goes, why would you do this? Like, we're not doing business with you. Why would you give us a resource? And he merely explained to them that he's out there to, change lives. And if they've had a layoff, he'd love to help them. So they took the URL and they gave it to their past employees. And then they got great feedback from the employees. And their current employees were happy because they did something for the people that were being laid off. Well, within 30 days, this company got a call from the tech company, and they gave them 3 job orders. And they said, listen, we've laid off 30 people, but you gave us a resource that made us look really good. We actually have 45 jobs we're trying to fill. We can't advertise. We can't put anything out there because we laid off the people that didn't have the skills we need. We've got some new skill sets we need. And we're going to give you, I think he gave them 3 openings at the very beginning. We're going to give you 3 direct jobs. And if you can place those, we'll give you more. That was a little over 1.5 years ago. They are now his biggest client. And he got the client because he offered the resource. But even my clients that hire from me on a consistent basis, they send all the people they can hire to my career portal because they love it, because it saves them time too. And it actually, if in fact there are ways where this can generate some passive income for your company, so it actually pays for itself. I tried to make this a no-brainer for anybody that is looking for a solution because basically you have 3 options. You can do nothing and continue to only help the candidates you're going to place. And so you'll only help 5% of them. You can develop your own site, and I suggest you go to mine and look at it. And if you want to develop one of your own, feel free to use mine as a template, because we've got to do something. Or you can set up one of our career portals, and it's set up in minutes. You can set this up in less than 15 minutes, and it looks like you did it for them. And obviously, we think option 3 is the better, because I can tell you I have put hundreds of thousands of dollars into developing this thing, and I'm still upgrading it, constantly. And so it is very costly to do something like this. If you want to register as a job seeker, if you want to see one, okay, you have to put a correct email address in, but you can put a fake name if you want. If you go to www.myjobsearchresources.com, that would give you a sample where you could actually look at the career portal. You could register as a job seeker. You could see what they get. And again, it appears that you did this for them. The email weekly would come from you giving them free career advice. If they have a question about where something is at the career portal, we answer. We have a support line that answers, but they think we work for you. They think I work for you when I'm doing weekly job seeker calls. And so what it does is it guarantees a positive candidate experience. Now, I was in Houston last week, and HAAPC had asked me to cut deals for them. Like what they want to do now for their members is they want to give discounts on everything. They want to save the members money, and they want to help the members generate revenue. Some of the board members own my career portal, and so they asked if I would do a special discount for HAAPC members. And so I told them I would, and that's why I'm doing this call. It would only cost you $599 to set this up, and you can set it up in less than 30 minutes. And the nice part about it is that you do no work. You set it up, and then the only thing you tell your team to do is anybody that calls in, anybody that you can't place in a job, you send them here, and now they've got a resource, and now you've got a positive experience for every single person that your firm attracts. This offer is not on my website. Again, your company would benefit from this. You're going to increase profits, and the candidates are going to be happy. So your recruiters don't have to take those incoming calls every day, and the recruiters don't know what to do with those calls, and so eventually they quit taking them. They go, just screen his call, he's a stalker, and then the stalker goes online and blasts your company. This offer is not on my website. To take advantage of this HAAPC offer, all you have to do is call that number, or you can send an email to support@staffingandrecruiting.com and put career portal in the subject line. If you call that number and you want to talk to me personally, I'd be glad to answer any questions you have. Or if you want to look at the career portal, you can just register as a job seeker on my job search resources, and you can actually experience the experience of the job seeker. We have close to 300 staffing and recruiting firms worldwide that have now set up a career portal. And, and again, I'm always upgrading. I'm always adding new things into the career portal based on what the candidates are asking for. But all you do is set it up, and then you refer people here, and we do everything else for you. I feel personally, I've been in this profession over 30 years, I feel this is the best thing I've developed for our profession. I know I've got training, and I have other things that I do, but my whole career, I've wanted to help people that really are not the people that my firm helps. And so I've given my career portal to my church. I've given it to battered women's shelters. I've given it to veterans groups. And my community loves me because I'm giving them this free resource. And where else can you have this kind of PR out there and get this kind of positive word-of-mouth advertising for under $600 for a year? And I'm telling you, if you use it and you constantly put new candidates in it, it will generate some revenue, because the job seekers, everything is free in there. There's a resume builder, there's everything. But then they asked us, would you review my resume? Well, no. Will you redo my resume for me? No. That's not something I wanted to do. So eventually we got so many requests that we now partnered with a service that will do a resume for them, or will update their LinkedIn profile, or give them some services they wanted. If they pay for anything, we pay the provider, and then we split the difference with you. You're not going to make a fortune on it, but it can absolutely pay for itself. If you actively use this, we write checks out to most of our career portal owners every single month. So yes, it's a $599 investment up front, but if you use it, it will pay for itself. And so what I tried to do this was make this a no-brainer so that we could have more and more firms do this, where we can really help everybody that we attract. So what I want to do now, I always try to limit these calls to 15 or 20 minutes because I value all of your time. If anybody has any questions, you can ask me questions one of two ways. When you look at the control panel on the right, toward the top left, there's a circle that has a question. If you put the PIN number, access code, and telephone number in, I can unmute your lines and you and I could talk. I'd be glad to answer any questions you have. Or if you want to go down below on the question area, you see down below on the control panel to the right, there's 4 bars on the bottom. and one says questions. And if you type your question in, if you don't want me to use your first name, I have a tendency of using first names. If you want to ask a question confidentially, just put the word confidential, and I'll be glad to not use your first name. So I have several questions. Okay, this is from Stephen. This sounds fabulous. Does it really only take minutes? And what if they ask you a question about my firm? Okay, if candidates ask us a question about your company, like if they say you presented a job, I didn't get it, or your recruiter didn't call me back, anything like that, we refer back to your company. But if they ask questions about how do you use the career portal, what is the job market doing, anything about the career portal, the resources, the calls that we do every week for them, then that goes to a support line that is support@careersupportnetwork.com. So they never hear the word Barbara Bruno. They never hear my name. They never hear our company's name. You have your own URL. We don't have access to the candidates that register. I mean, these are yours, and we're going to upgrade we are upgrading the career portal right now, because now firms are asking me, can I access the candidates that register? Can I put my own job orders and my job orders in the career portal? So we're going to be doing an upgrade in the next few months where anything you want this thing to do, we can program it in. And so as I get requests, if we have more than 15 or 20 people ask for something, we add it in the career portal. So, it really is very simple to set up, and we do all the support. Any questions, any problems they have, we take it. If they ask a question about your company, which is what your concern was, Stephen, then we refer those back to the person whose name is on the record. So whoever sets up the career portal, they're the ones that we would forward the call to, and our support is 24/7. So you get those things instantly. So if they're asking a question about your company, they get that. Okay, this is from Jodi. What topics do you cover on the weekly calls? We ask the job seekers what they want training on. So it's simple things like how do you interview questions? How do you handle red flags on a resume? How do you get somebody to call you back? Because most of them never get called back because they're doing nothing but applying to job boards. So we teach them other things to do rather than sitting there on job boards all day long. We teach them how to network. We teach them how to get out there and actively do a search. And I can tell you, almost every weekly call, we ask them to come back and report when they get a job. And almost every call, we have somebody coming back and talking about that they got a job and thanking, and they think I work for you, so they're thanking you. And that's when you get the cookie bouquet or the thank you note from someone you would normally ignore. This is anonymous. Have we had any problems with candidates complaining about the career portal? We've had not one candidate complain about the career portal. The only thing they're asking for more things. We have a free assessment tool in there now. We're having higher level, because we have anybody from recent grads through $300,000 executives that have lost their job, and they want higher level assessment tools like the DISC assessments. We're having candidates ask for computer training. So the only complaints we're getting are they want more things, more resources in the career portal. So we're looking at some options to offer them some of these things. So it's not really complaints, it's them asking for more. They've also asked us for a free system that would help them track their job search, almost like a ATS for a job search. So I actually, in the last year, have written a program that will help job seekers track their job search. It'll help them know who they've sent resumes to, and it's going to be free for them. Now, it's taken me over a year to write it, and that's what's delaying the upgrading of our career portal, is my programmers are now figuring out how to do it, because we want to offer it free, and we have to figure out how to do it without having so much bandwidth that it's going to end up costing us a ton of money. So I've written a way where they can track their job search, and we hope to roll that out in the next 6 months. So I've actually written a program, because there's nothing out there to help them. Jibber jabber is a joke. I can't even follow it. And then you go and you do a couple of things, and then they start charging you. We want ours to be free. So soon there's going to be something else that's going to have them track their job search. So those are the things they're asking for. And if we get enough requests from them, we look for resources that can provide that. And so I am going to give them something to track their job search. We have people programming it right now. This is from Cindy. Barb, why would you spend your time creating this for your competitors? See, I don't view you as my competitors. And originally, I did not design this career portal for you. Originally, I designed this career portal for my firm. I just had to do something for the candidates we're not placing. And I would get, what killed me were my clients. They always had a sister, a wife, a brother, a child that needed a job. And because they were my clients, I would do a free resume, I would do free career consulting, and I realized how much time it was taking me. And I thought, God, I've got to create a resource they can go to, because this is just getting way too time consuming. And I always have people asking me to help people they know are friends and family, everybody. So I did it for my company. It took me over a year and a half of programming to figure out how I could private label this where it's private labeled. So part of the $5.99, we also buy a URL, so you have your own URL. And the URL, like, you could put your company name and put job site, or you could put a whole different name. When you first sign up, that takes the longest. You got to pick the name that you want for your career portal. I have a lot of firms that do like IT staffing. Well, they're getting calls from people that, are secretaries and that. So they just put like a career job search, site, or they'll come up with a different name for their career portal. So it can include your company name. It cannot include your company name. But my original intent was to do this for my company. And then a lot of people follow what I do, so they're always on my sites. And so many owners were asking me, can I have that? Can you do that for me? And quite frankly, it was very expensive. So I had to figure out how to do this. And I still am not making money on the career portal. I mean, and again, part of this is part of my philanthropic end of it. Part of it is I want all of us to help everybody. I want people to stop calling us you people. That's why I'm out there speaking in front of your end users. I'm going to HR conferences. I'm going to CEO conferences, telling them why they should use us. The LinkedIn courses that I do, I explain to them why they need to use us. I did one of my courses at LinkedIn is, how do you pick a recruiting firm to work for or to work with? I'm teaching people how to do niches. I mean, I'm trying to show them why they should use us. And the career portal is just one of it's kind of my swan song, not that I'm quitting anytime soon, but I wanted to do something for all of us, and I realized the impact this had on my business. I mean, everybody loves us now. And I used to hate when we couldn't help somebody, and so often people would walk in. I remember when I first went into business and we would get veterans in and people didn't want to hire veterans, and it killed me that I couldn't help them. And so now I help everybody. I give my career portal to all the veterans groups in the area, and they all use it, and they love it. So it makes me feel good, and my recruiters love it. The only recruiters that didn't like it were the recruiters that love to give free career consulting. They love that part of their job. That's not what we're paying them to do. We're paying them to focus on the 5% that they can place in a job to make us money as owners. And so this solved all the problems. We can't afford to have recruiters that spend half their day giving free career consulting. So you give them the career portal, and it just solves all those problems. Okay, this is from Tom. Can I talk to you direct? Yes. Call that number, and I could sign you up. I mean, if you signed up today, we have to pick the URL. You could have your career portal. Tomorrow's Good Friday. We're actually closed. You could have your career portal set up by Monday. That's how fast this works. And that offer is on the table until the 24th. But, you give us your credit card number, and you would have this set up by Monday. And it is a differentiator. And do firms love that we have this and we offer this? They love it. So the PR it's done for us in our community, with our candidates, with our clients, has been tremendous. And you could do the same thing, because I don't exist as far as they're concerned. You did this for them. Okay, I see no more questions, and we're almost at that 30-minute mark. Let me see if anybody raised their hand. All right, so if you've got any questions about this, you've got the support line, you've got our phone number. If you want to look at one, this is just a sample one. It's a demo site. But if you go to www.myjobsearchresources.com, you'll see what the career portal does. And I am working on an upgrade. I've been working on an upgrade for almost 18 months now, because I'm putting it on a different platform, so it can be a little more interactive. I'm always going to improve this. But the one we have right now, I'm not getting any complaints. I always want to upgrade and do new things. That's just my personality. And once you own this, you'll never pay for an upgrade. So it's $5.99 a year. And if you get the $5.99 price, you would pay that not only this year, but every year this after. It'll never go to $9.99. So once you get this discounted HAAPC price, that would be your pricing. We would put a tag, and you would never pay more for this resource. No matter what I add to it, that would always be your investment. And I'm telling you, you'll make the money back. The only people that don't make the money back are people that don't use it. Anybody and everybody that is using this and giving this to the candidates they don't place in jobs, they're making money on the career portal. So it also makes a little bit of money for you. All right, I'm going to end the call. If you've got any questions, we'd love to welcome you as our newest owner. Because this is not on, the price is not on our site. So we do have a site, you know, I called it Happy Candidates. I know that's kind of cheesy, but that's what I want candidates to be. I want them to be happy. You could go to happycandidates.com, but on that site, there's more information, but it's the $9.99 price. So if you want to get the $5.99 price, you have to call our office or send us an email to support@staffingandrecruiting.com. We'll reach back out to you. So thanks everybody for your time. I really appreciate HAAPC. I loved seeing a lot of you at the awards banquet and for the training. I will be back next year to do training for HAAPC and to do the awards banquet. And I have to tell you, I did strategic planning for HAAPC, and they're going to do some phenomenal things for the members. We've come up with some really great things, and they're going to be calling all of you to get your input because they want to know what's most important to you. You know, that's very important. So you're also going to be getting a call. So I'm thrilled at what HAAPC is going to do for all of you as well. So thanks for joining me. I hope you have a blessed Easter or a blessed Passover, whatever you celebrate. And I look forward to hearing from you. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks so much.